coming with a dank, scrolling in a tank, rolling with the gang. You sitting out on the sideline tripping, I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though? Welcome to World Heavyweights Live on WoodSports.com. My boy Eazy, joined my guy Spin More Rax.
Hello.
Young Chris, Unky Nick, a.k.a. Detroit Mario. Smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Share the stream. Chris, it's a dream come true. 3 guys and you all in the same round. You know, Detroit Pistons have made a trade.
Wild.
Made multiple trades. The Detroit Pistons made a trade today.
Dream come true.
Dream come true.
Drake Dick Pigley.
That's Jeff's dream come true.
That is Jeff's dream.
Smash the like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share
Jeff
the
was
stream.
the first one to hit the group chat. Like, bro, you guys see the news?
And then we couldn't get a hold of him for 5 hours.
Yeah, then he was gone.
Yeah, he's disappeared off the face of the earth. Either way, Detroit Lions trade. I'm sorry, not Detroit Lions. We talk about so much damn Lions. I'm not even used to talking Pistons anymore. It'd be nice if they're good, so they'd be more relevant to speak on. But the Pistons trade for Simon Fontecchio, the 6'8" wing from Utah.
Yeah.
Yes.
39% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, so
I hear he plays a little bit of defense, but he don't
trade.
average a block or a steal. But I mean, it's nice to hear, I guess.
DNC ENT says Gabby will never make it to the league. Gabby's gone. Yeah, see, there it is. Kevin Knox, 24 second rounder, and the draft rights to Gabby go to the Jazz for Simon Fontecchio.
Fontecchio from the Italian league.
And now we have the perfect forward rotation. Chris, can you show the people what our forward rotation is looking like for the Pistons now? Here we go. We got a great forward rotation going out there. We've got Danilo Gallinari and Simon Fontecchio. And dude, relax.
Fuck this place, man.
Jesus, man.
Fucking Christ, man. Can't get a fucking working pair of headphones.
Those things work. You
They don't
the
work.
wrong
I just tried
probably
fucking
don't
using
now.
them. They didn't have to know I threw a fit, all right? The screen wasn't even on us. I like this trade, by the way. Nick, I saw you posted something spicy on Twitter. If you talk a little bit louder than normal, just because I don't have
Was
ears
it spicy, Eazy?
No. It was a spice. It's spicy like a meatball.
That's a spicy meatball.
You seem pissed off about it. Well, I like it.
I was just hoping for a bigger splash. I mean, the last 3 trades we've made are for 3 foreign white guys that can stretch the floor from 3.
Hey.
That is what. It doesn't matter about the color, but they can shoot from 3, and they are tall forwards.
You trying to say you're mad about trading for white dudes? I don't believe it. I don't
We
buy it.
obviously need spacing, but I'm gonna actually
I'm
gonna defer to Chris on this one. I don't know much about the guy. I know he can space the floor from 3, and that's about all I know on this guy. Chris,
Simon Fontecchio.
Chris, what do you think
Nick,
about it?
I don't know how to sell you other than he's white and a 3-point shooter. I don't know what else I can do to sell you on it.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's okay. Like, he's not going to really amount to anything. I know Gabriel, the great white hope that people have had on Pistons Twitter forever. Like, they've just been acting like this guy's going to come over. He's actually teammates with Walker Kessler, so he's getting reunited with Walker Kessler, which is dope. But it's a nothing move.
With Walker Kessler?
What's that?
Where was he teammates with
Utah.
Walker Kessler?
Overseas.
Walker Kessler's from overseas?
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of the tall white center from Auburn.
No, I'm talking about Walker Kessler and Gabriel. I forget how to say his name.
Procida, yeah.
Yeah,
Procida.
we're teammates before, so they've been reunited. So, but bottom line, from the Pistons' perspective, this is just a bunch of nothing moving around. Like, I don't think any of these guys are going to actually matter. Shake Milton, that's the other trade, which I'll throw that up on the screen right now. That's the only player that I'm even decently interested in, just because he had like damn near triple-double games like a couple years ago when nobody was playing for Philly and he was balling out. So, I mean, he's a guy that can at least put up numbers, but he doesn't really do anything in the long run either. Otherwise, he would have had a bigger shot in the NBA. So, this is all a bunch of nothing right now for the Pistons.
Walker Kessler played at high school in Georgia and then played at Auburn. I don't know.
They all look the same.
I was seeing it from somewhere. I'll reconfirm that. I don't know if it was like a FIBA.
You're good. I don't give a fuck where Walker Kessler played or where he didn't play. I guess I just
Shake Milton and Troy Brown Jr.
Yeah.
Simon
Fettuccini.
Fontecchio.
I like it because I as much as we suck, we've looked more competitive since we got
I watched film.
Muscala and Danilo Gallinari, if we're being honest with it. And to me, not to sound racist, but he is very similar to Danilo Gallinari.
Extremely.
6'8" guy that can shoot from three. From what I'm hearing, he plays a little bit more defense than Danilo, even in his prime.
I mean, yeah, but he's like 10 years younger, so it's like that's why he plays defense. Like I watched film on this guy. I watched a little bit of film on this guy.
You said Walker Kessler came from Italy.
Listen, okay,
dude, essentially Tatum with defense.
That was a tweet I definitely 110% ran with. I'm gonna go back to verify that part. But I did watch film. I did watch film on this guy because I'm like, okay, there's a reason this guy played 50 games in the NBA and I don't know him. That's kind of alarming. But I watched a little bit of film. This guy's like, you know, not to use the white term, he's not sneaky athletic. Like he's not. He's Luka Garza athletic. Like he doesn't move very well.
Can he dunk?
He crashed. Shoot. Come on. Because you see that the groans already. Like he's better than Luka. Oh, no offense to Luka.
Oh, he's definitely better than Luka.
Can
but
he
like,
defend
he's
at all?
No. Like he can't. He has no burst. He has no jump. Like if he blocked a shot off the backboard, but the ball went off the backboard, not his hand.
So we bought a traffic cone with marinara. we traded for an Alfredo traffic cone. I mean, if he could shoot, he could shoot.
Yeah,
I guess that's that. But
that's what I wanted.
I'd like to see some defense as well.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like this is a guy that if he's not hitting any shots, like he's just not going to be in the rotation. The one thing I will say is he's got a good instinct to cut off ball. He can move pretty well off ball, and he does crash the offensive glass a lot for somebody that's not athletic and somehow gets rebounds. But other than that, I mean, I don't really think this guy is gonna wow you by any means. I mean, he's not gonna be your ninth best player on a championship team, so he's.
That's the other part of it too for the Knicks, and I'm not like attacking you directly. If you take it that way, I guess when you go at it, I don't care. But
no worries.
Like for the people that are disappointed with it, it's like you should have like just packed this season away in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing was going to change. I don't think a splash trade was coming. I don't think we have anything to cook with to make a splash trade.
Now we got fettuccine Alfredo.
Now
so
we do got a little bit of fettuccine in the car. I got in the pantry, I guess so. But because unless you're comfortable with splitting away from Ivy, who's been on an absolute tear by the way. There's no splash trade coming. On top of the fact, like, this is going to be a boring trade deadline anyway. There's nobody for sale. Kind of crazy the trade deadline comes in February. They should change that.
I guess I was hoping from my side where we literally just had a trade for two of very similar players with the same exact skill set.
Yeah.
I was expecting, I don't know, something a little different here.
Someone a little
But
darker.
don't you feel like they're more competitive? The two guys just
They are. There's no doubt about it.
You're
I said it in that tweet.
I
said it in that tweet, but I guess I'm expecting to get rid of Bojan and Burks personally.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Like, that's where the trade's coming if we're not going to go get a Tobias, a Levine, obviously he's hurt
but the
now,
opportunity the Pistons have now of putting a lineup out there of Danilo Gallinari, Fettuccine Alfredo, Bojan Bogdanovic, Mike Muscala.
Oh my God!
And then
who's running point?
Buddy Boeheim. Bring up Buddy Boeheim, and we can have that lineup get 170 points dropped on them.
Well, wait, we're not done. We get Alex Caruso now playing.
Because I will say this, like. I like having Danilo, and again, I do think like we're more competitive those two guys, and him being 35 years old, when I have a guy could literally seamlessly like step in and still play that same role. So it's like it is what it is. Free agent at the end of the season, so you have your money to play with. I didn't like get rid of Monte Morris. I wanted to see that through. I know he's from Flint, and he was happy to be here. And I felt like he also provided like 3-point shooting. I liked him as a backup guard. Yeah, that one sucked, but I guess that means more minutes for Sasser. But if we're getting rid of guards. Killian's got to go, bro. We got to bounce Killian for the second. It's got to be done.
Bro,
send
you
him to
have to give someone
tomorrow.
a second to take Killian. Nobody's trading a second round pick for Killian.
I genuinely think San Antonio will give you 1 second rounder for him.
Xavier Tillman, you said Xavier Tillman went for 2 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah, Killian Hayes is not worth the second round pick.
I agree, but San Antonio has absolutely no point guard play whatsoever, and Victor Wembanyama is like their.
So they're like, let's make it worse and trade for Killian Hayes.
I mean, there's a reason why the Vegas odds of Killian's next team, San Antonio, is the highest, and then like the next are like overseas.
We need to Victor Sweet Killian Hayes to get him off his team.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think the big move is in the offseason. I think they will make a big move this offseason. I just wonder if Burks or Bojan. I feel like they're going to keep them through the deadline and try to trade Bojan in the offseason. I think that's the move that they're going in.
Troy Brown Jr. Noah sounded excited about him. I'm more familiar with Shake Milton. I'm not too familiar with Troy Brown Jr.
He had
you guys
moments.
anything on that?
He's athletic. I mean, he can. He has the intangibles to be a good defender, but it's just these are bottom of the bench rotation guys.
Yeah. These are guys that haven't cracked a rotation in multiple scenarios. So what's the odds that they're gonna crack the rotation here, right? Because it's bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying we gave up Kevin Knox to GOAT.
yeah, I know. I saw my heart broke when I saw that trade. But I just think that this is a bunch of nothing for the team, and it is what it is. They're taking shots on prospects they think are gonna do something, but I don't see any of these guys being in a 10-man rotation of a playoff team.
But also, did the Pistons find like the unlimited second-round pick glitch where they just keep signing Kevin Knox and then trading him? You just sign him every year.
That's
and then,
crazy.
And then trade him for 2 second-round picks. Like, it's just Kevin Knox is the infinite pick glitch.
Yeah, I guess, because I think we had this conversation yesterday where it's like, okay, you're getting draft picks, but it's like, or not, it was you that said it. Why are we getting more young pieces? That's clearly not working. Let's go get like a veteran piece. I would have rather kept Monte Morris. That's the only thing I'm upset about today is getting rid of Monte Morris.
I agree.
And hanging on to Killian.
I would have rather have gotten rid of Burks and kept Monte. I know that Burks is, Monte got a lot of guards here, but
yeah.
I just think that a guard that doesn't turn the ball over, that's a veteran presence, I think he would have been good to have with Cade and Ivy for a whole season. But, at the end of the day, this is nothing.
Now we got Shake Milton.
Yeah.
I have
Shake and bake.
I think
We got a
game.
fettuccine Alfredo with a
Shake
shake.
and
Like, sounds like a pretty good lunch.
Shake Milton, I'm looking at like
Unless
his
you're lactose intolerant.
since January 20th, Martin Luther King's birthday, or right around then, I know. Either way, he's played like every other game. There's games he's sitting out just doing nothing.
Is that a Tim Kirkchin fact? Since Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, he shot 43% on Wednesdays when it's raining outside.
I fucking hate ESPN does that shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's the best player ever. Every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. while the wind's 15 degrees Celsius. Like, I hate that shit. That's why I stopped watching ESPN. I like their shows on ESPN that I watch. I should say SportsCenter, not ESPN. But yeah.
All I know is we can look forward to signing Kevin Knox in the offseason and then trading him again next year for a second-round pick.
I think that's going to happen.
I look
It's
forward
just
to that
an
one.
NBA glitch.
Just a little preview of today's show. We will have on a Brad Holmes hater. Believe it or not, they exist. There's one out there. I don't know what fan or what team he's a fan of. We'll get all the information. I'm trying to find out if this person's real, if he's AI. His name's Kev. He's from Fox Sports.
His name's Kev.
His name's Kev.
It's not Kevin.
He doesn't like to be called Kevin. It's
I'm
Kev.
calling him Kevin.
Just do it after, like, once we get heated. Then start
Hey,
calling
listen up, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hi, Kevin.
We're going over a little bit of free agent prospects for the Detroit
Kevin.
Lions. Jameer Gibbs being a top 5 running back. Detroit Lions 2023 redraft. We're not doing a redraft, but ESPN did a redraft.
Hi, Kevin.
Brad Holmes looking pretty damn good. Spinney's got a spotlight, if not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then before any of that,
Hi, Kevin.
I'm not even comfortable bringing this one up. I'm gonna let you do it. It's the very last bulletin there.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
Before we
you
go to
got that
break.
picture? Do you have the picture of Lady Laporta?
Let me see where it's at.
If not, we'll do it at the end of the show.
If not, we'll do it at the end of the show.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. We do it at the
No,
end of the
it's
show.
not in Slack. Is it in our group chat?
Let's go to
Talking
break.
about Italians.
When we come back, let's talk about Jameer Gibbs being a top 5 running back in the NFL.
Hi, Kevin. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone,
Rihanna.
and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you experience a squeaky clean gym. You can get a full body workout in 30 minutes in a 30-minute circuit. And all memberships include fitness training. You get all this for just $10 a month, no commitment. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time for any reason without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Are you tired of the same old Detroit sports merch? Head to woodwardsports.com, click on the shop tab today, and get yourself some new swag. They got the ultimate swag, amazing apparel at woodwardsports.com. You got hoodies, hats, tees, whatever you need. Go to woodwardsports.com, click the shop tab today.
What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights, live on woodwardsports.com. Using tape is wild. For Eazy, for Nick, for Christopher Platte, I am Spencer Raxter. We are the Chevyweights, and we appreciate you tapping in. Make sure
I'm a Ford guy myself.
I'm a Ford guy, built Ford tough. Have you ever fought off a cougar with one paw while your other hand was neck deep into a turkey and your sister's yelling at you on the porch while your brother-in-law screams at bloody murder? That's what it feels like to drive a Ford F-150. But we got a lot to talk about today, and we are going to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie sensation for the Detroit Lions, the guy who is the reach of all reaches, he shouldn't have been on the draft boards there. What are you doing? He is a Pro Bowler in his rookie season. He was very electric. He made a lot of plays. It was extremely impressive to see him go out there and do what he had to do. The electrician!
That one stuck.
He's going to zap you! Is he a top 5 running back already in the NFL?
So the reason why this came up is Bijan Robinson, per ML Football, did a top 5 power rankings of his running backs, or top 5 running backs in the league. He did his. Jahmyr landed at number 5. He had Bryce Hall number 1. So Bryce Hall, in response to his, he goes himself number 1, Bijan number 2, CMC number 3, Jahmyr Gibbs number 4, number 5, another Detroit Lion. Well, Derek, the King, we'll give him his credit. But also David Montgomery. 2 Detroit Lions as top 5 running backs. I don't know about that. I definitely say we're the best running back tandem for damn sure. But is it? I already started saying this at some point during the season about Jahmyr Gibbs being the top 5 running back. And I felt crazy saying it. I feel like a lot of you guys out there, no offense, actually, I shouldn't insult you guys. I love you guys. You're Lions fans like me. But I feel like Lions fans have tendencies, Neil Rule, to put players, in certain spots that a lot of people don't see them as. But in this case, it's not just Lions fans. You have guys that play in the league. Like Bryce Hall put Bijan in there as like a nod to Bijan because Bijan put him in his. Jahmyr was just in there.
Yes.
Like Jahmyr already got thrown in there. I've already perceived him as a top 5 guy. Is Jahmyr Gibbs a top 5 running back in the NFL?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, I can't think of a lot of.
Why'd it come out like that?
Yeah, because it's.
You think it sounds crazy?
It sounds crazy
yes.
to say. It does sound crazy, but I can't think of a lot of guys that I'd be like, all right, I'm taking him over Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, you got Christian McCaffrey, you've got Nick Chubb when healthy. Derrick Henry is still in that mix, but dude, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's explosive. He can receive the ball. He can run between the tackles. He can run outside of the tackles. He can do a lot of different things, and he does it at an extremely high level. We saw him breaking people's ankles left and right on the field. We saw him running over dudes left and right on the field when he gets the ball in his hands. So it's hard for me to say no. It's hard for me to say no after what we've seen so far.
Jahmyr Gibbs, I did the homework on today. And because I some people like numbers, some flannel Sams. And so I looked for yards from scrimmage because I think you want to look at him as more of a weapon. I think he became more of that as the season went on, both receiving and running. And he did rank top 20. He was 20th most yards from scrimmage. He had the 11th most yards from scrimmage in terms of like just running backs. So right around that top 10 area. And then 11 touchdowns, 10 on the ground, 1 through the air. But the thing is, only played 15 games. Don't forget about the injury. And then, by the way, he happens to be splitting carries with the guy the 10th most rushing yards in the league. Mm-hmm. Right? So he's still top 20 in yards from scrimmage, but also splitting carries with another guy that's, in some scenarios, considered top 5 in his own right.
He was in Bryce Hall's top 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, he is. I don't know if he'll necessarily always have the numbers until, I don't know what's going to happen with David in the future. Like, I'm talking about 2 years from now. Obviously, he's locked up for next year. But, I think pound for pound, I have no issue with Jahmyr Gibbs being called a top 5 running back in the league. And like as you mentioned, it does sound crazy. It does feel crazy to say, but you watch it on tape. You watch the touchdown against in a playoff game too. So there's stakes on the line. Like it matters. It's not like a week 17, week 18 game. Your season's already over. You already have your playoff spot locked up, or you just don't want to get hurt, whatever it may be. No, Antoine Winfield, an All-Pro safety, a Super Bowl champion, manned up with Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs took him to fucking cleaners.
Yeah, he got cooked.
Cooked him all the way into the red zone. Yeah, then fucking threw him down for the hell of it.
Talk shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only loud and exuberant about this thing because it's Nick. Are we crazy? Is he a top 5 running back in the league?
Well, boys, you guys aren't crazy. No, not at all here. You cannot deny that he is. I mean, he's top 5 yards per carry. I think he fell off a little bit on that at the end of the year. But like you said, Eazy, he only played in 15 games. I mean, he plays in 17 games. He's probably top 10 in all of those stats.
And he didn't play for 3 of the games.
Exactly. At the beginning of the year,
facts.
he wasn't even getting the touches.
Yeah.
And we've seen the highlight reel plays like you guys have talked about, and other teams have to equip for that, so it just makes the whole entire offense better when it comes down to it. He's only going to get better at catching the ball as well. We've seen him drop a few big passes this year. And you guys remember the KC game where he took a slip. He would have had another touchdown right there. And I feel like we saw that a couple times this season. So the sky is the limit for this guy. With Christian McCaffrey aging, he's looking like that next running back in line to be the best in the league.
Chef from the War Sports Chat. Speakeasy Sports. You're loud and exuberant because you've been electrified. The Chef, the guy who's down the nickname, the Electrician. Yeah, man. I think, again, I don't know if he'll ever be there numbers-wise until maybe he's like the lead back in that backfield, which I think could happen as soon as next year. It's just him and David have different running styles. Like, yeah, you see Jahmyr put his shoulder down, but like obviously David is better at that style of play, in my opinion. So I think he'll be like your short yards guy still. But I think one way he can be there numbers-wise, and Nick kind of alluded to it right there, is if he does become more involved in the passing game, which I feel like he did get a lot more comfortable in towards the end of the year. Like, I don't know if you guys remember back in that Seattle game, that pick 6, that was an option route for Jahmyr Gibbs that Goff just misread. They misread each other. They mistimed whatever the situation was. Goff ended up throwing it. I think it was it DeLon Witherspoon who ended up taking that one back? I think it was.
Yeah, maybe.
A fellow rookie. Either way, that ended up being a pick 6. But as the season went on, as you expect with a rookie, now they're coming on the same page. It's kind of what I was talking about bringing Josh Reynolds back. Is like you want guys to have chemistry with Jared Goff, especially if you're like your pursuit is of a Super Bowl, not just a playoff berth or just like I guess claiming that first playoff victory the first time. No, this year I still want the Super Bowl. Yeah. I don't care that Brad's going to be patient with the situation. I still want and fully expect a Super Bowl this year because I think this is the closest you're going to be to it if you're not bringing Ben Johnson back for years to come. But I think he could touch top 10 numbers through passing game, like you said, though. I agree 100% right there.
Yeah, also in that Seattle game, it was the basically under 2-minute warning when we were driving before halftime. He had a chance to catch a ball. Would have been a massive play. Could have gone for 70 yards. Didn't catch the ball. So, and that was at the beginning of the year. Come the end of the year, he's making those type of plays.
Drop touchdown against Chicago, and I think about it, too. The one out in the flat where Jared Goff hit him and kind of just stone-handed there. Yes, I mean, Chris, do we get dose of reality for us? Or are we talking crazy over here?
No, I don't think it's crazy at all. No, it's not crazy. No, it's not because you've seen all the abilities that it takes for him to be one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL. Now it's about consistency. It's kind of in a different but similar sense, the same thing with Hutch, right? Like Hutch has shown great moments, but he consistently hasn't put it together. Gibbs has shown that any week he can have the best performance among all running backs in the NFL. So I don't think it's out of bounds to say that this guy is a top 5 running back and that this guy could be in a couple years challenging for the throne.
Yeah. I mean, personally on that list, CMC was beneath Bryce Hall, just above Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. That's crazy to me. Like, okay, always put yourself number 1. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of supporting yourself. But CMC, if he's not 1, he's got to be 2. Like, come on, bro.
No,
what are we doing?
I agree. Give the white guys credit.
Yeah, for sure.
He's putting on for the.
He is the great white hope. We thought it was Cooper Kupp. It was Cooper Kupp for a year, but the true great white hope is Christian McCaffrey. Maybe it's Cooper DeJean next. We don't know. But
we got
Gibbs
one loaded, boys.
Is top 5, man. Gibbs is tough. I think he was first in the NFL in explosive runs. The guy breaks out. You cannot tackle him one-on-one. You need to gang tackle him. If you try to go to him one-on-one, you are going to get absolutely embarrassed, like he consistently did over and over and over again to defenders.
Yeah.
Falling out of bounds, stiff-arming, finishing over people. He can do everything when it comes from the running back position. This kid is going to be good for a long time, and it definitely helps that he's behind the best offensive line in the NFL.
Hey, and listen, if you guys missed it in the first 15 minutes of the show, we found a Brad Holmes troll on Twitter, and it wasn't just a random troll with like a not real profile picture. No, it was actually a guy that works for Fox Sports in Roto Grinders, if I'm not mistaken. He will be joining the show, but Jahmyr Gibbs, 20th in yards from scrimmage while splitting the backfield as a rookie. I just want to reiterate that one more time. As a rookie. 10-plus touchdowns as a rookie. Like, this guy's going to take steps. I remember at the beginning of the season when Stick was filling in for Spinney because, like a child, he took his birthday off to hang out at home.
I was getting tattoos.
and he was kind of bitching it up about Jahmyr not getting as many carries. And we kind of brought up the numbers of, like, CMC's start in his season, or his campaign, his career, I should say. It was very similar. Jahmyr's ahead of CMC where he was his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Are you looking at the numbers right now? No? I thought you were looking at CMC numbers.
Yeah, I was looking at Gibbs. I can pull up CMC's.
I got Christian McCaffrey.
He's ahead of him in his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken. And Christian McCaffrey clearly took a leap during his second year. Don't forget this, too. As much as like we are seeing him run between the tackles now at the NFL level with the Detroit Lions, phenomenal offensive line, by the way. Third-round picks at guard. Don't forget that, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
He never really did that in his college game. That was, I think he I think by the numbers, quite literally only had like 12 runs between the tackles at Alabama. Well, that's also something he's going to get used to, be like, and continue to be great at, as we've seen this year. Matter of fact, I think the one touchdown run he did have against Antoine Winfield was in between the tackles there. So it's like he's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I don't know, man. He's top five.
How many rushing yards did Gibbs have?
Rushing yards, yeah. Gibbs. Give me one second.
I think it was like 900 and I think it was like 60 yards short.
Yeah,
940.
Because Christian
945.
Christian McCaffrey had 435.
945.
How many games did he play?
10 games started, 16 games played.
So he played all that. Wow.
With Christian McCaffrey had 117 attempts for 435 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he had 80 receptions for 651 yards and 5
945.
touchdowns.
God damn, I'm good.
Damn, 80 receptions as a rookie.
80 receptions. Yeah.
Holy moly.
That is crazy. How many receiving yards for McCaffrey?
635.
And what's Jahmyr at? 500?
Gibbs had 52 receptions. So
how many yards?
316. So what number do you guys think that could jump to in year 2, especially that we know Ben Johnson's coming back now, another year in this offense? Do you think Gibbs can get up to that 80 mark, maybe even higher than that?
I'm gonna refrain from putting those type of expectations on him, only because Ben Johnson's a fucking brilliant, genius motherfucker, and we have Sam Laporta to feed, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown to feed, and emerging Jameson Williams to feed on top of that. So like as much as I think he's gonna see an uptick, because where was he at this year? You said 60, 50?
Christian McCaffrey 52. Had 107 receptions in his second year in the league.
107?
Yeah.
But where's Gibby at?
Doubled Gibbs, 52.
52? Yeah. So I expect an uptick. I just don't think it'll be like 80 just because of how many people got to feed on this offense. It's not just like we're feeding for the fuck of it too. They're all studs.
I don't understand something. Christian McCaffrey
He's got to carry the one.
Had 1,300 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards and 19 total touchdowns in 2019, and he was third in Offensive Player of the Year voting.
In 2019?
Yeah.
Who won it?
I don't know.
Well, we have to go to break. Let's find that out during the break. Tell us about Lady Jane's.
Lady Jane's. You can come into Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter to win a trip of your dreams. And all expenses paid.
It was Michael Thomas.
For the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year's sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Feldman Chevrolet is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer with over 18 locations, one right in your backyard. Find one near you. That's feldmanchevrolet.com. Find the closest one to you. And also check out Feldman Chevrolet in Novi for the best car buying experience. And Woodward Sports is live there earlier Monday. Monday. What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights Live, WoodwardSports.com. If you guys haven't, please make sure that like button. It means the world to us, honestly.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Means a lot.
Means a lot. Be a friend, tell a friend, share
Or
the
else we're
stream.
talking Piston trades the rest of the show.
Piston trades.
If you don't hit the like
smash.
button, we're talking Pistons trades the rest of the show. We will be joined by Brad Holmes hater from Fox Sports and Roto Grinder at some point in the show. I think at 5:52 or 5:42. So the next segment coming up. But before then, the back half of this segment was an argument from our guys over on I don't want to get in trouble, but Jeff's show. They're talking about Christian McCaffrey. Sam Laporta. Samuel Potts, I think it was Booner. Not surprised with that way. But I think he called him the #1 tight end in the league.
He was the #1 fantasy tight end.
But is he the #1 tight end? Are we ready to call him? I'm cool with having Jameer be top 5. All right, so I don't want you guys to think that I'm like a hater or whatever type of, I don't know, whatever you guys like to mix up there. I put Jameer as a top 5 guy.
Yes.
I'm just not ready to put Laporta as the #1 guy.
You can make an argument for it, I'm sure. It's
on the
but
season,
I'm not putting him above Travis Kelce or George Kittle.
Yeah.
It's close for sure. It's close. Like, he's projected. Obviously, those guys are in the back 9, and Laporta's just getting started, so he'll be there for sure. But I'm not going to put him over those guys just yet.
Bro, Michael Thomas being the 2019 Offensive Player of the Year over Christian McCaffrey is disgusting.
McCaffrey went for 1,000 and 1,000 that year.
Yeah, that's gross. That just pissed me off. I'm sorry. I know we're talking about Sam Laporta. Yeah, I'm not ready to put him there. I looked at the numbers. On receptions, he had the 4th most with 86. Yards, he had the 5th most with 889. By the way, I was looking at receptions. George Kittle, who obviously you'd probably say is ahead of him if you're just giving like a legacy nod there. 21 less receptions for George Kittle, 400 more yards. Isn't that insane? 400 more yards and 20 less receptions? You guy's a monster. But either way, Laporta, 4th in receptions, 5th in yards, and then he was 1st in touchdowns. And he's part of a dynamic offense. Touchdowns, I'm not taking away from Sam Laporta's season at all, actually. I'm going to give him credit for his touchdowns. Nick, you're making a
Sam
face.
Laporta's top 5.
Touchdowns and first downs are the most important. You got to keep the drives moving, and you got to keep them moving to get into the end zone. Those are the two of the biggest things. There can be empty yards in other cases, like
that is fair.
Remember Matt Pafford or.
Yeah, well, so Laporta's case, obviously, like we're like a top 3 offense in the league. Like they're not empty yards. I'm just for touchdowns. An example. Sometimes it can be like system based.
He's
like perfect example. Jamal Williams last year breaking Barry Sanders' franchise record for touchdowns. It's like sometimes touchdowns can be system based, but I'm not taking anything away from Sam Laporta. I still consider him a top 5 guy. So we're saying you were gonna say something else, Benny? I apologize.
No, I was just gonna say Sam Laporta. If you want to make an argument for him for #1, I'd hear it. I'm not gonna say you're off base with that, but I'm not gonna put him there yet. And he was the best red zone threat on this team, so he's going to get a lot of looks in the end zone, and that's definitely a skill to have for sure. Yeah. But I'm still putting Kelce and Kittle over him as of right now.
Just a fan. Easy sound like flannel now. Stats. Well, I had to break this down. I think this one, the stats are considered. You're trying to figure out who is the #1 guy, right? Okay. So I think did you have him as your #1 tight end?
Yeah, I do. I
the
think
#1, the best tight end in the league.
I think I'm ready to put him there off the numbers. I understand the respect factor. So I'm totally cool with you putting Kelsey or Kittle over him, but I just think by the numbers, he was the best. Like Kelsey, I'm even seeing in these playoffs. Like I love Kelsey, he's a dog, but he's good for like 3/4 of the game. Like he just like he's like you said at the tail end.
Are you disrespecting Travis Kelce right now?
I'm disrespecting Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Come on, man. This guy.
No, that's my dog. That's one of my favorite players. But I just think you see it as it's like what LeBron does. Like he'll coast for quarters. Like that's what Kelsey does.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sam Laporta, I think it's just by the numbers, the best tight end.
By the numbers.
But I'm not mad at you saying, hey, he's got to do this for another year.
That's where I'm at. I mean, which by the way, I'm expecting him to do it for another year. Like I have no problem with claiming that throne. Like next year, I think you lock it in stone. I just for now I have to give legacy nods to a guy like Kittle, guys like Kelsey, and by the numbers, I mean reception wise, short of it, yards wise, short of it,
we'll both be at the
touchdowns
party.
first.
I'm gonna just be there a little early. That's all.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I know. Hey, that's your prerogative. Top 3 though for you, Smitty.
Top 3 is
that 3, I think.
Kittle, Kelsey, Laporta.
For you?
I think I'm right in the middle. I'm checking out some of these numbers, and I know Kelsey's dealt with some drops actually recently. The thing that stands out to me the most about Laporta that I wanted to say, 7 receptions per game.
Looks great.
He was averaging 7 receptions per game when in the playoffs, when it meant the most for this team.
Yeah.
This dude's making big catch after big catch. Jared Goff's safety valve, and I know George Kittle or Travis Kelce is the same for KC. I think I gotta put Laporta at 3 until he does it again. Until he does it next year. I like Chris is hopping on the train early with it, but I got Laporta at 3. I got Kittle at 1, and Kelce at 2. So in order, Kittle 1, Kelce 2, Laporta 3.
Now we're talking top 3. I'm a lot more comfortable getting there. Like I'm way more like probably in that same fashion.
Even
Kittle.
over your boy T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, I mean.
Hawkinson probably would have been tight end 1 in fantasy if he
Well, I mean, right now
because he was balling.
Hawkinson had more yards than Laporta in 2 less games.
Yeah,
with 960 to Laporta's 889. He had 10 more receptions than Laporta, or 9 more receptions than Laporta in those 2 less games. I mean, if there's a Vikings fan out there that wants to say like Hawk's better than Laporta on this past year. Cool. I have no issue with Laporta being number 3. I think I'm more where I think is indisputable is top 5 for damn sure. I mean, I headed into this segment with that being like a staple, saying they's top 5 rather than like top 3. I think that's an argument like Adam and I were having back and forth last night. But like, I'm actually comfortable with putting them top 3.
Where were you and Adam arguing?
Via text message.
Oh,
yeah, we were drunk. We put you in a group at one point.
Oh, I went to bed early last night.
Yeah, you did. That's kind of weird. We switching roles.
Yeah.
Usually I'm in bed early.
Yeah.
You're the one out there drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
I was the one out there drunk. Yeah, fuck it, man. Top 3. I literally came into this segment saying he was the top 5 guy, but fuck it, top 3. Because I'm really only comfortable. Like the names that Adam was flirting with was Kittle, Kelsey, obviously, but he also had Ingram and Hawk, which like, okay.
I'm putting him over Ingram for sure.
Yeah.
For sure putting him over Ingram. I think guys that you could argue are Njoku and
Mark Andrews.
And Mark Andrews, yeah. Mark Andrews.
I forgot about Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
Can I ask you this about Mark Andrews though? Watching how seamlessly Isaiah Likely hopped into that role. Guy? No, I mean I don't want to disrespect him like that. He's still really, really good. You got to play a part, but like a little bit, right? I mean that because like knowing that like offense is kind of based off of like what Lamar's gonna do or not do in terms of him running the ball, and obviously tight ends like known as like your safety valve. Kinda, yeah. I mean he's still really good. I don't want to disrespect Mark Andrews like that. I apologize. Evan Ingram, though, 114 receptions this year. 963 yards.
Oh, he had a great year.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good year last year, too. And his is his first time with like a good quarterback as well. Some of that shit plays in factor, who you got throwing you the ball. Fuck it. Top 3. I have no issue saying it.
I don't think, yeah.
Top 3, I probably have him at number 3. Next year, I'll flirt with what Chris is saying, number 1. I'll be cool and have that conversation.
Yeah, I'm confident with it because 1, the numbers, and then 2, you can also look at this guy, and I don't think he's, I don't want to say it disrespectfully, but I don't think he's really benefiting from the system. Like of course he is to an extent, but I just see what he does is I see him as a mismatch nightmare, and I see him being able to get open against pretty much anybody. Like, who are the people off top that you're like, oof, I don't know if I like Sam Laporta in that matchup. You can't really name that many players. So that's why I think it's if he got even more opportunities, I think he'd have more production.
Well, a good tight end is a matchup nightmare for anybody. I don't think it's just Laporta in that situation. You could say the same thing about Kelsey and Kittle and Andrews. Like if you put those guys out there, Njoku, Ingram, like if you have a good athletic receiving tight end, they're supposed to be a matchup nightmare. That's why Eric Berry was so good, because he was the Gronk stopper. He was the tight end stopper. Like, he was the 6'4" safety that you would line up against the tight end and let him go to work. So there's not really guys like that out there that are just going to cover tight ends one-on-one. I would say the best player to cover a tight end in today's in today's game is probably Kyle Hamilton. Or you look at guys like athletic linebackers like Roquan Smith or Fred Warner. I think those are your best bets of putting up against the tight end. But a great tight end is going to be a matchup nightmare for anyone. And Laporta definitely fits that mold.
Yeah, he took his lumps this year real quick, Eazy. When he went to Tampa Bay, I was at that game. Clear out. At that Tampa game, he had 11 targets, only caught 4 of them. So that was like his first through the ringer moment as a rookie. But you can tell he grew from that, which was a big moment, like key moment early in his career to go through as a rookie.
Yeah, that's one thing that is part of it that, like, a lot of people are going to hate to hear in terms of like Lions fans for sure. But you mentioned, like, you don't think it's so much of a system thing. I think it's a little bit of a combination of both. Like,
it definitely is.
Ben Johnson last year, before Sam Laporta's presence, broke the franchise record for touchdowns at the tight end position. And that's because he's coming from a tight end coach, head coach, tight end. Like this offense is tight end friendly. You know, it's just. But the other part of it, where like Sam Laporta meets you halfway, is, hi, I'm a Detroit Lions fan. I dealt with Eric Ebron. You have to catch these balls that are being thrown to you. I've dealt with Brandon Pettigrew. You have to catch these, you know, in these clutch moments, these third down. But that's the other part of it too, right? You talk about like the him coming up big in the playoff games, Nick. Those he had so many more third down catches, and I think. He might have had more than Amon-Ra this year. But I remember specifically 2 years ago where, you know, Jared Goff in the offseason is like, yeah, Amon-Ra's my guy on third down. That's what I'm going to. And he's proven to have been, like, reliable in that situation. How fucking nice is it, both as fans and then as Jared Goff, to have a Sam Laporta be just as reliable in that situation? Yeah. And one thing, too, again, where you meet him halfway, I'm not going to totally lean it towards system, is that when he catches that ball, it takes two to three human beings to take that man down every time. Every time.
That's what it was just an eye test thing. Like, I'm not saying that he, you know, makes the system. Of course not. We talk about this every show, how great Ben Johnson is and how great the offensive scheme is and all of the offensive talent, how everybody balances off of each other. And I say the word ecosystem a lot. Like, that's what this is. But I just think that I don't see a world in which if you give him more opportunities, he doesn't maintain the same level of production or even go up. That's why I'm comfortable saying number one, because his numbers are almost, if not arguably, the best among tight ends. And then you pair that with the fact that I think if he gets even more opportunity, he's going to deliver.
Well, when we get back, we have a Brad Holmes. What's a nice way of putting it?
Hater.
A Brad Holmes defector.
There you go. A Brad Holmes defector on the line. We got Kev from Fox Sports and Roto Grinders, if I'm not mistaken. When we get back, we'll be on the line with him, whether it's via mix or on the phone, and we'll try to get to the bottom of it. Because I'm not understanding it.
To close out Laporta real quick, durability. Durability. Clear out. Durability. Big thing this year. We thought he was going to be out. You know, that injury looked bad, and he was able to battle back big for this team.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Because how many games did in the college season? 14?
Mm-hmm. And if you go to...
Jumping 17 and then playing the playoffs, too?
Yeah, there's only 10.
Shout to fucking Sammy Potts. But... before we get to the Brad Holmes effect, I got to tell you guys about Fairway Packing Company, all right? Because for over 6 years, we provided Michigan's finest hotels, restaurants, and casinos with the finest prime Wagyu beef, dry-aged beef, and more. Make sure you guys get it delivered to your door with fairwaypacking.com or stop for grabandgosteaks.com. Wow.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
What up, though? And welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights Live at WoodSports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, joined my guy Spin Mo Rax.
Hello.
We'll be joined shortly by Kev. Just give me a thumbs up, Nick, when we got him, because I don't know how to say that last name. But I guess to introduce of how Kev came about, how we ended up on the Woodward Heavyweights today is we were scrolling through his Twitter. Now, I was scrolling through his Twitter. His Twitter popped up on my feed because a bunch of Detroit Lions fans ready to murder the guy. Because Kev had this to say, if you don't mind putting it up real quick, Chris. There's 2 tweets. I don't know if you put them on the same thing or not, but the initial one was kind of quote tweeting the Brad Holmes video of him calling out the players. Or no, I'm sorry, calling out the media. And that's all you, Spenny.
He said, Brad Holmes victory lapping after an NFC championship loss is incredibly funny. Team does not have a franchise QB. Defense full of question marks. Misused both first-round draft picks in 2023. I mean, if you're getting misused into a Pro Bowl, I think that's a pretty good.
Just read. We got him.
Barely skid by 10-7 Rams in the wild card,
big fella.
and only faced easy. Whoa, girl, easy. And faced the 9-8 Bucks. Lions fans holding on to some cope does not move me. I'm being serious when I say this is mediocre team building. Future is not bright unless they luck into a QB.
And now,
oh man,
without further ado,
mediocre team building.
The man behind the tweets, Kev. How do you pronounce your last name, real quick, Kev? I apologize.
Oh, I anglicize it as my surgeon, but it's properly Mahserejian for like Armenian.
Okay. Hey,
square up, Kev. What the? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
What?
Yeah. So, yeah, I have a lot of explaining to do, I guess.
Yeah, man. What the hell?
Okay, look, I have nothing against Jahmyr Gibbs. Personally, I love him. He's a great player, but he is a running back at the end of the day. Look, where you drafted him is the problem. You drafted him at 12th overall. I think it was a very safe, very kind of like high floor pick, but the team, if you're taking a running back, you're trying to win now, essentially. And the team doesn't really have the pieces to win a Super Bowl now. If you look at the cornerback spot, if you look at the second edge spot, if you look at wide receiver 2, why did you lose that game? You're throwing to Josh Reynolds. He's dropping every pass. That's not a winning strategy for a Super Bowl team. So when it comes down to it, Gibbs, you take him there when you could have taken Christian Gonzalez, who maybe he doesn't get hurt if he's on the Lions. Take a Jordan Addison. Take a Zay Flowers. Take a Jackson Smith-Njigba. Again, maybe he doesn't break his wrist preseason, whatever. And then, look who'd you take in the 3rd round. Hendon Hooker. Who could you have taken? Tank Dell. Tyjae Spears, Devin Achane, who is the only running back in NFL history with at least 100 carries and 7 or more yards per carry. You could have gotten a running back later, a scat back. You had David Montgomery, who was awesome and is awesome. So it just, the team building didn't make sense. And then you take Jack Campbell, who, let's be honest, wasn't that good. So I'm criticizing misusing first-round picks for a team that could win, but didn't reach what should have been its ceiling.
But brother, like I get this, the narrative about not taking running backs in the first round per like positional value, but I've always kind of sided with, like, if you're getting a great player, you're getting a great player. That's all that should matter at the end of the day. Like, if you were to go back into, I think it was like 2002 draft, that's just off the top of my head, Ed Reed would go as a top 3 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like as a safety. And that's something that just you don't see. But because he's like that elite at his position, that's where he would go. Jahmyr Gibbs is phenomenal. I mean, we got guys like Bryce Hall, Bijan Robinson, and I guess we have a little bit of a Detroit bias, but I'm ready to put Jahmyr Gibbs as a top 10, top 5 running back already based off his rookie year performance. I mean, he 20th in yards from scrimmage, and that's with split carries and missing games and not even playing to begin the season because you have David Montgomery, who's also great. Like, I don't think there should be beef with taking him there if the production's there as well.
Again, it's not just who you passed on. It is, like, again, the position. Who's great in the league right now? Isaiah Pacheco's amazing, 7th-round pick. Kyron Williams, amazing, 5th-round pick. You can get these guys later. And Jahmyr Gibbs, is he a top 3 guy? Yes. Top 3 to 5, but you don't need that to win in the league right now, right?
I look at it as you saying who we could have got where, and I'm looking at who we did get in those 2nd and 3rd rounds. When you look at getting Jahmyr Gibbs in the 1st round and him being more productive and more efficient offensively than an Addison or Jackson Smith-Njigba, and on top of that, in the 2nd round, you get Sam Laporta, who put up the best rookie season for a tight end of all time in the 2nd round, and in the 3rd round, you get Brian Branch, who looks like he is going to be a stud lockdown nickel corner, or your 3rd pick, I'm sorry. You get Brian Branch, who looks like he's going to be a stud lockdown nickel corner. So on top of adding those guys later in the draft, I personally would rather have Sam Laporta than Tank Dell. I personally would rather have Gibbs and Branch instead of A-Chain. So I think when you look at who you got in those pieces later in the rounds, those 1st-round picks who went out there, and I mean, I understand you don't like the pick where it is and the positional value of it, but he was a Pro Bowler in his rookie season. I don't think that's a bad pick for a top 15 guy.
No, but he averaged the same amount of yards per touch as like Tyjae Spears and 2 yards per touch fewer than Devin A-Chain. So it's like he was great, but it's like this is a really good class of running backs, I'll be honest. And looking at it, you could have had Tank Dell and Sam Laporta and Ryan and an Addison, a JSN, Zay Flowers, Christian Gonzalez, Lucas Van Ness, even a 2nd edge to complement Hutch. You guys were clearly missing someone off the other side of the edge. You had no perimeter cornerbacks that could defend the pass. You were a mediocre pass defense. You ranked in the middle of the league, about 16th. That's not a winning formula. Who's in the playoffs right now? Who's still in the Super Bowl? 2 of the top 5 pass defenses, the 49ers and the Chiefs. What's it called? The Ravens were like number 1. They had one of the best, and obviously, you know, they struggled and they lost because their offense, but their defense held up. The Lions, they were going to lose to the Chiefs one way or another. I think they were going to be like near 7-point underdogs. This wasn't a winning formula. Gibbs is great, sure, but you didn't need Gibbs. And you could have got that running back later. Could have got that running back later.
I mean, saying this team would lose to the Chiefs after they already beat the Chiefs in the season and saying it's not a winning formula going from a team who didn't make the playoffs to the NFC Championship game is kind of backwards to me. Like, looking at a team that is coming off of a rebuild and overachieving, going from being 0-10-1 at one point last year to playing in the NFC Championship game and leading the NFC Championship game by 17 points at halftime, then criticizing the drafting, which is what got them there, because you see the draft picks made. Penei Sewell, first team All-Pro. Sam Laporta, All-Pro. Aiden Hutchinson looks like a stud. You need more than just, normally it's not a 2-year jump from 0-10-1 to NFC Championship game.
You still have to pay Jared Goff, though, and that's kind of the big, what's going to happen when you extend Goff, because I think he should be extended. But again, it's just kind of putting yourself in this limbo of not having a top 10 quarterback, which I think we can all agree Jared Goff is not a top 10 quarterback. He's like in the 14 to 15 range, maybe you could argue 12. But even so, that quarterback is not taking you a hump. And once you pay Goff, once the extension kicks in, it's harder to pay the guys around him. ARSB's contract is up after next year. Penei Sewell's contract is up. He's going to be extended after next year. You have a lot of guys on the team who are needing extensions along with Goff. And spending that draft capital on a running back. What's up?
Are you on your home Wi-Fi for the phone call? But you're breaking up a little bit.
Or speakerphone, yeah, it's getting really choppy.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
There's a lot of static in the background.
Is there any chance you call right
Oh,
back?
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, let me call.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We will get Kev back on the line. Yeah, I mean, listen, to the point where you started with Jared Goff, that can be a conversation. That's a conversation I've had personally. But I guess my beef was with the second tweet. We called it mediocre team building, which has not been the case at all. Through every single draft for Brad Holmes. I think that's the part we were able to get through with Kev. But if there's a gripe with Jared Goff, I mean, that's just one where I kind of understand. All right, so we have Kev back. We're actually right at a break, too. Let's go. You want to do Jack Labrador?
Yeah.
Finish up with Kev, and then we'll move on.
For sure. Let me tell you guys about Jack Labrador. RIP to the same old Lions. Big thanks to Sheila, Brad, and Dan for putting them to rest. And guess what else has found its grave? Same old rock, paper, scissors. Jack Labrador has revolutionized that tired game with 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing three-point play. Discover the action at jacklabrador.gg now and find out why once you go Jack, you never go back.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Eazy, Spimo Rax, Young Chris, Unky Nick, and the TD. I'm sorry, the ones and twos. We're joined by Kev. I wanted to finish the call up because my beef initially was like mainly the second tweet. I guess I can't call Brad Holmes a mediocre team builder when he's gotten you Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, both first-team All-Pros. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta first or second-team All-Pro. But I think like those are going to fill themselves in. I agree that Jack Campbell probably didn't live up to like a first-round pick, what you want out of a first-round pick. But I expect him to get better the same way. I mean, here locally, I wouldn't expect the people nationally know, but like Derek Barnes gotten better year by year with our linebacker room under Kelvin Shepard. I guess what I want to talk to about team building is I guess, can we agree that mediocre team building kind of going a little bit too far there? Because if I am agreeing with you, Jared Goff is talent-wise mid-tier, but I think what they're doing and why I hats off to Brad Holmes is the pieces he's surrounding Jared Goff with. Knowing that like Jared Goff is going to get you there off his arm talent alone, he's giving you Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Dave Montgomery, and the offensive line to keep him upright and to get the ball to those guys. Because they're all kind of like, I mean, you're a fantasy guy too, so they're like yak players, you know?
Yeah. No, of course. Look, he's done I'm not saying the team building is that. He's done an amazing job with the hand he's been dealt. My issue is not maximized on what he built within the first round this year. I'm saying if they've taken that wide receiver, cornerback, or edge rusher with the first round, with both those first round picks, let alone one or the other, this could have been a Super Bowl team. He did the right thing, trading Jared Goff for that first round pick, and trading Jared Goff in the first round pick for Matt Stafford. That was amazing. It's also, you're kind of stuck with Jared Goff now, and they've done a great job surrounding him and making his job easier. But what would have made his job that much easier is a wide receiver 2 to get open, face the field. Because ARSV, as much as we love him, he's more of a gas break, he's more of an underneath guy. He can hit deep shots occasionally, but...
Kev, I'm sorry. I appreciate you joining, man, but that was... I don't know what's going on with the phone call. It's very, very staticky.
I was going to let him answer before I let him go, but...
Could only hear I couldn't...
I
here.
couldn't even make out the words. Sorry about that, chat.
Kev, we appreciate you, man. I don't know if it's on our side or your side, but that phone call was very, very, very staticky. I could not hear any of the third words he was saying.
What's the StreamYard? I'm gonna get him on StreamYard and we'll do something on the side or something. I guess.
Do something on the heavyweights for sure. But yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And now I got something special for you guys. Since we're talking about team building here, I've got a player spotlight. I've got a guy that I think the Detroit Lions can build with. I got a guy that I think the Detroit Lions could look for in this draft to help this team. And some might like this, some might not. He is projected anywhere from a late first to mid second round pick. We talked about him with Russell Brown yesterday. He is interior offensive lineman Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. This guy is an absolute monster. He is the epitome of a Dan Campbell guy. He plays mean. He plays angry. He moves people around in the run game. And it's impressive to see what he does because we know the Lions like to move their offensive linemen. We know the Lions like to pull their offensive linemen in front of these running backs, in front of the receivers, get them out there. He has very good feet, very quick feet in the screen game. Loves to get in front of guys, block in the open field, get a full head of steam downfield, and just smash people. This guy, Jackson Powers Johnson, he's 6'3", 334 pounds. In his collegiate career, he's played both left guard, right guard, and the center position. He did finish his collegiate career at center, but this man is a mammoth of a human being. And like I said, he plays angry. He plays aggressive. We talked to Russ about it. Russ said he didn't lose a snap in the Senior Bowl week. This man was out there moving people around. And the craziest thing, you want to hear something crazy? In 3 years,
I just shit myself.
In 3 years of college ball, in 1,337 snaps, 0 sacks allowed.
Let him cook.
0 sacks allowed for Jackson Powers Johnson in 1,337 snaps. This guy is not only aggressive, angry, and quick-footed in the running game. So, like I said, he can get outside in front of backs on pitches. He can get outside there on a wide receiver screen to go out there and make some things happen. But he is a stalwart when it comes to pass blocking. Let me say it again. Over 1,300 snaps, no sacks allowed at the collegiate level, spread across 3 years. This guy is extremely impressive. Like I said, when I look at a lineman, when I break down a lineman's film, the first thing I do is I look at their footwork. I need to see if they have good footwork. I need to see how they shuffle, how they move backwards, what they do. He has ballerina feet. Like, he can move all around. It's impressive seeing him get out in front of people. It's impressive seeing him go from a double team up to the next level. He is angry, aggressive, and deadly in run game. And in the pass blocking, he doesn't let anybody get past him. I think this guy is a home run pick. I think he is a Dan Campbell guy to a T, and I would not be surprised to see him gone in the first round or maybe the second round for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I hear this is like one of the top tier guys in the draft right now coming out that position. And then that's like me not even have done homework on the guy, like nothing. Like when you look up offensive linemen for the draft, like in a lot of the thumbnails, a lot of the articles, like this is the man you see. If they grab him. But by the way, too, I want to, I guess, come off of like a take I've been standing on and kind of like, I feel like when I reply to people because I'm so aggressive, it seems somewhat like an asshole or like disrespectful. But with it being pick 29 in the first round, it's not really the same as having like a first round pick to burn on a guard. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, if they went guard with pick 29, I wouldn't really have an issue with it, to be honest with you. Essentially, that's like a second round pick anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why not?
I'm starting to come to terms that Nate Wiggins isn't going to be there. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to be there. And if Nate Wiggins is off the board at 29, I want the Lions to draft this kid.
Yeah.
I want them to take Jackson Powers Johnson at 29. He is an immediate plug-and-play guy at either guard or the center spot. Mm-hmm. Like I said, absolutely moves people, angry, aggressive in the run game. And again, 1,300 plus snaps without allowing a sack. 6'4" or 6'3", 334 pounds out of Oregon. Kid's a monster.
Was just going to ask you that because we talked about this yesterday when it came to the guard play. Eazy, you just came off your stance that you would be open to it because it is so late in the first.
Yeah.
Or Spencer, doing the research on this guy, sounds like you're in if he's there at 29.
Oh, yeah.
Because this offensive line means so much to this team. I'm 100% in it before as well. We had Russell Brown on yesterday talking about it. 100% Dan Campbell player. Would love to see or get some research of him in interviews and see kind of his persona behind some of it, because that's how you know that Brad Holmes is going to draft him.
Yeah, and by the way, that is my personal opinion on the guard spot. As like, I feel like more than any, you want to talk about like the value of a player, and again, it sounds disrespectful, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody that plays like any professional sport at all, because I mean, hats off to you guys. You're it's phenomenal. You bust your ass to get there. But the guard is like one of those easily replaceable spots. Like a lot of the conversations I have with people that I'm blessed to have conversations with that work within the industry or cover like the sport for many, many years, is after 5 years or so, that's why guards rotate so often in the league. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an easy one. But if you have an elite guy like that you can get there at 29, and if it's Brad Holmes, if it's got the Brad Holmes stamp, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to rock with it regardless. Now, if it's top 20, my stomach would curl a little bit more. I'd kind of be, close to like Kev there. But it's a running back. Like, that's silly to me. Like, I don't know if you can name 10 running backs better than Jahmyr Gibbs, so he's validated as that. I mean, we've seen like elite running backs, Adrian Peterson, Barry freaking. Like, if they're that good, they're worth the pick.
This kid's graded as a late first round pick, a late first round, early second round pick. So I think he's going to be close to where the Lions are.
What's the name again?
Jackson Powers Johnson.
Do you think he is rated that because he's a guard, like
yes.
interior?
I think it is because he's an interior offensive lineman.
If you're putting up those numbers on the outside, not allowing a sack,
you're a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
If you're a tackle putting up those numbers, you're a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
100%.
And I'm looking in Daniel Jeremiah's like mock 1.0, and I don't even think he's in the first round. So yeah, he would be there at right around that area.
If Nate Wiggins is not there at 29, which I don't think he's going to be, and Brad Holmes doesn't move up, this is who I want.
Yeah, Russ didn't seem as excited about Nate Wiggins as we did.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. And Russ is pretty good with his corners. He called Gonzalez last year. But we'll see, man. We'll figure it out. I'm looking, double checking to see if Jackson Powers went in that first round and Jeremiah's. I don't think he did. It's all tackles. The first interior offensive lineman off the board actually is Graham Barton.
From that Duke guy?
Yeah, the Duke kid.
He's pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind either way. Would you guys be pissed or surprised if Brad Holmes traded out of the first round, being that the draft is in Detroit?
A little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if like a guy like Jackson Powers is available there in that second round, on top of like maybe one of those cornerbacks you want. It's like fucking go get them both.
Yeah, it's kind of like last year we did all the research on like some of those D linemen, and he passed on Cansey and went Campbell. I mean, I remember I was recording videos of you guys. I mean, first one off rip wasn't too. Everyone's a little fiery.
That was
right when just instant reaction about it. But I could see him. I think he's way more likely to trade up in this draft than trade out. Because I believe, personally, this team just needs to keep stacking blue chip, high upside top prospects compared to just getting more guys to fill the void in the roster. That's what I personally want. On the roster.
I agree.
No, I'm cool with it. I'm easy, and I'm okay with taking a guard the first round, pick 29. As long as it's Jackson Powers. No, I'm just kidding.
Jackson Powers.
Everything's going to be fine.
This kid will be a Pro Bowler in his first 2 years.
First 2?
Yeah.
Calling your shot?
I think, yeah.
To be honest, though, when you're playing on this offense, like it's gonna be easy to get some Pro Bowl shine. You know what I'm saying?
With his ability to move, with his on top of being nasty in run blocking and being able to get out in front of wide receivers and in front of running backs in screen games and in pulls, on top of that, he's an elite pass protector.
Is he a center?
He's a center, but he also played left guard and right guard both in college.
Oh, shit.
Go.
That would be...
That's what I'm saying,
Steve
bro.
Lehman says
Potential
Eazy.
rag now?
Potential Graham
A lot
Glasgow.
of mocks have him going to Miami. They're in desperate need for a center as well.
Miami.
Well, I mean, that would suck. And I could see them... If they're going to stick... Same thing with Jared Goff. Is if you're going to stick with that guy, like that's the arm talent you're rolling with, you're going to pay, you got to keep him upright. I could see Miami snatching him up. And that would suck.
Doesn't Miami have a guard or like an offensive lineman that's going to free agency as well?
Probably. So I mean, I don't really know. I'm not familiar with Miami. That's the thing too. I'm actually have no defense of Kev. What he was saying and the disrespect of Brad Holmes is honestly kind of. I can't tolerate it. It's kind of crazy.
Everyone can talk about every draft when you pass on people that turn into hits.
But then that's the other thing too, bro. Like JS, and again, all due respect to Kev for coming on the show and manning up and standing on business about it, but like, don't fucking come here. You could have got JSN. Fuck a JSN. JSN can lick my nuts. I would rather have Jahmyr Gibbs over JSN 7 days out of the week for fucking years to come.
Maybe he was the Seahawks fan in the chat.
Maybe honestly, that would make sense. That would make sense.
And Spencer was saying all of that
and the other thing too, bro.
I blocked him if it was.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he said he just started spamming L after we hung up, so it could have been him.
Oh, probably his boy or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
That makes sense.
But when he mentioned Tajay Spears.
I appreciate him coming on though.
Averaging out as many yards as he did. Tajay Spears averaged, I looked it up, 4.5 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs 5.2. That's just different, right? And then Tajay Spears, yeah, exactly, only 100 carries. So you're likely to have a higher average per carry. On top of the fact too, like if you're in the game versus Derrick Henry, I'm thinking, okay, this might be a pass.
And yeah, exactly that.
And then he had 400 yards. And the Jahmyr had double that.
And the A-Chain part,
more than double.
I understand A-Chain had a very good year and he looked very explosive, but he's seeing the softest boxes in the NFL. He's going up against defenses that are preparing for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
The two fastest receivers.
Yeah, like...
Well, and here's the thing, too, right? If you're going to pull up... And again, respect the Kev for coming on, standing on business.
For sure.
But if you're going to pull A-Chain and I think the Mitchell kid, Keon, I think it was, Keon Mitchell in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I like both those kids a lot, once the season started.
Yeah.
Don't pull those names out unless you have the tweets prior to the draft pointing them out as, oh, this guy, this guy. Don't do that.
And
you can't. Don't be Captain Hindsight.
Captain Hindsight.
I don't play that shit.
And yeah, I think saying Brad Holmes is a mediocre team builder is just an absolutely blasphemous take.
Yes.
That just is just untrue.
Yeah.
When you look at his drafts and his track records and the people he's gotten, it's just false. Like it's not up for debate at that point. That's just straight false.
Yeah, that's the one I think we were willing to back him down on. I think that the final sortie was stuck in the ground, which again I get would have been a Jared Goff one. But then at that point, again, when you talk about disrespecting Brad Holmes, you got to look at the pieces that Brad Holmes surrounded Jared Goff with, and you can't tell me he's not a winning formula when they quite literally were in the NFC Conference Championship game, up 24-7 at the half.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Saying it's not a winning formula of a team that was one of the last four playing in football is, that's a choice.
Well, chat, this next topic's up to you. We got breakout candidates for 2024. I got some shit I can spin on if we want to win a Super Bowl. Or we got a free agent spotlight, too.
Heavyweight, undeweight.
Yeah, we got a redraft we can do as well. Chat, you guys let me know what you guys want to hear. But before then,
let me tell you about Big Boy. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. Try the classic lumberjack or Santa Fe Garden. Also the new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with a gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Your Pet the Best. Premier Pet Supplies, hands down Michigan's best pet store. The same prices and all the conveniences of big box retailers with one major difference. They're family, locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
You love your pet.
Prove
Just
it.
like having a kid.
Smash that like button. Tell a friend. It's the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. Tell your mom, tell your granny, tell your mammy. Hit that like button too. I'm Eazy. I spin more racks.
Yeah, darn too.
Young Chris and Uncle Nick.
Smash that like button.
Yes, sir. We did a draft spotlight. How about a free agent spotlight? Someone that's not as young and spry as a heavyweight, as Spinny brought up, but he's a heavyweight nonetheless.
Okay.
I think the one that needs to be talked about, it's been talked about because I missed the opportunity to be the first one to do it yesterday, but there's a man by the name of Danico Autry, a defensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans. Last year...
Wait, who did it already?
What do you mean?
You said you weren't the first one to do it?
I'm going to be the first one to talk about it.
Oh.
But now people are writing articles about it. Now the secret's out of the bag. I already put the tweet out there. Danico Autry, 11.5 sacks for the Tennessee Titans last year as a defensive tackle. Well, technically the left defensive end, which technically is a defensive tackle. Let's call it what it is. He rushes from the interior. He rushes from the exterior. He's kind of like a Josh Pascal, but gets a lot more of his work in and then inside of the defensive line. 11.5. Did I mean 11.5? 11.5 sacks last year.
That's a lot.
Rushing from priority, the interior of the defensive line. Spinny, what is a position you need for the Detroit Lions?
I would say interior defensive line.
This is where this man is putting in his...
And someone who can get to the passer from the interior defensive line.
Double-digit tackles for loss. Okay, 11.5. Listen, we have Romeo Okwara, right? He had a one-off season where he had, 9 sacks, right?
Yep.
How about, what if I told you 2 years ago, Danico Autry had 8 sacks?
That's pretty good.
What if I told you the year before that? He had 9.5.
That's pretty good.
What?
Some consistency there, right?
Well, didn't he have 7 the year before that as well?
I think so.
And I think all of those would have been second on this team.
Danico Autry is right in the realm of where Brad Holmes likes to shop. We get ourselves hyped. We get ourselves excited for the Justin Madubuques, for the whoever the hell else may be out there, the Chris Jones, because that is a sexy name to salivate over. I understand. I guarantee, and I get it. But Brad Holmes told you in the press conference just this week that he's going to continue to shop the way he has. It's going to be a conservative approach. It's going to be smart, and he's going to be relative to what he's been doing in the past. This guy fits that nature, and I think given not only the numbers of what he's brought to you as interior defensive lineman, but also being a cheaper end guy. I get that he's 33. I don't give a shit. I don't understand people's people get hung up on the age when the production's there. Jason Kelsey just retired as a first-team All-Pro at 36, 37 years old. All right, this guy, we're not signed to a 5-year deal. He's not going to cost you millions and millions. I mean, he's going to cost you a few million, obviously, it's the NFL. But he's not going to cost you a max contract. Talking 6 to 7, maybe 7 to 9 million. For a 34-year-old guy that's got a proven commodity, give it to me all day. Mm-hmm. All damn day. And another thing, too. When he entered the league, it was with the Las Vegas Raiders. Or I guess the Oakland Raiders then. And his defensive lineman coach, you know who it was?
Who?
Terrell Williams.
Oh, I've heard that name before.
Yeah, you heard it because he just got hired to the Detroit Lions coaching staff.
That's where I heard that.
As our defensive line coach. So obviously he works well underneath a certain coaching staff where he followed him from not just LA or Las Vegas, but also then to Tennessee to continue to put up good numbers there. He's also come here to Detroit, and I feel like this is going to be a Brad Holmes signing. I think it's a guy a lot of people keep their eyes out for. We just played a little highlights there. If you feel nasty and dirty enough, go do it for yourself. The dude, he's nice.
So you're saying we got Justin Madubuque at home?
No, we don't. I can't compare anyone to Justin Madubuque.
You're saying we got Wish Justin Madubuque on the way?
Yes, I'll go with that. We got the Wish Madubuque.
We got Justin Madubuque from Timu on the way.
yeah, Timu Madubuque for sure.
I love it, man. I love it. This is another guy who, like we talked about, a guy that can take some attention away. Take some attention away from Aiden Hutchinson. Take some attention away from Lee McNeil. Help these guys stop seeing double teams. Stop seeing triple teams. And when you got a guy in the middle who's got 11.5 sacks, that's gonna take some of the pressure off of those guys. So I'm all for it, man. Especially he's gonna cost a hell of a lot less than a Matabuki. That's for sure.
A hell of a lot less. I mean, Matabuki, you're talking like upwards of $26 million. Ooh. Do you have here we go right here. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, started the career at Oakland. I'm looking for the sack numbers. There we go.
Yeah.
So 11.5 last year, 8 before, 9 before that, 7.5 before that. Off year, and by the way, we didn't even scroll over to see how many games were played. Maybe he missed a few games in that year with Indianapolis, but the year prior, 9 again. This guy's a proven pass rusher.
He had a safety in 2015.
Played in 12.
Shut the fuck up, Chris.
17 QB hits, 19 QB hits, 18 QB hits.
Look at the tackles for
12
loss.
tackles
too.
for loss.
Yeah. 3 seasons of 10+ tackles for loss. That's impressive.
It's crazy this guy's not being talked about. I mean, we literally had a list of like top 10 interior defensive linemen for agents, and his name just wasn't on it. Is it because of the age? I don't know. Nick, were you about to say something?
Yeah, last year he played in 12 games, had 8 sacks, 8 TFLs, 19 quarterback hits in 12 games.
Yes.
This dude is all over the backfield. I've never even heard of this guy. Who is he, Eazy? You've been hiding him from us? Hopefully Brad has been doing some research as well.
This is the exact type of, because exactly like you said, who is this guy? What
Low
the fuck?
key.
How many of these signings has Brad Holmes brought? Did you guys know who Deshaun Elliott was before he came here?
Nope.
Did you guys know who CJ? I'm joking.
Nope.
But you guys know who Will Harris before he came here? Like, this is a Brad Holmes
They
signing.
drafted Will Harris.
No, they didn't. Will Harris free agent.
No, Will
I'm thinking
Harris was
of,
drafted.
Charles Harris.
Charles Harris, yeah. I apologize. My bad.
I mean, we knew Glasgow because he was here, but he was pretty low-key, great signing.
Yes.
Did you know Alexander Loney was a human being before he came here?
Yes, but I
No,
mean,
you
We didn't think much of him.
I didn't think much
You
of
didn't
him.
know
He was a bargain bin guy. Josh Reynolds was a bargain bin guy.
And Brad Holmes is a bargain bin guy.
Yeah.
And this
Brad Holmes loves fucking Designer Shoe Warehouse. I bet that's his favorite store.
And not only, like, obviously he's a bargain bin guy, but you also have, like, the bargaining chip and Terrell Williams. And we talked about it, like, I think it was last week Friday, because people were down in Mobile, Alabama.
Alabama.
Our guy Mike Payton was down there, and he got excited about something. It wasn't the cornerback like we thought it was. Yeah, why?
Jaylee thought that was something wrong with the
shot?
stream.
What did he do to you? What did Mike do to you? What are you giving him a fart noise?
What?
Yeah, why?
I don't know. It was Alabama noise.
I genuinely thought that was my headphones. I was like, what the?
Mobile, Alabama.
Either way, we thought it was a cornerback. I hit up Mike. I was like, yo, we talking about the Mikey Sancho? Is it the cornerback you're talking about? No, it wasn't the cornerback. And now I'm putting pieces together. Okay, Terrell Williams is down there. Mikey was down there. You're talking about something. I think it's this guy. Because Mikey was also the first one to put the article out there. When I thought I found like a gem, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to be the first one to talk about this guy. No, Mike beat me to it, of course.
Of course he did.
But I feel like that's the piece of information you may have gotten. Looked at the tape, look at the numbers. Obviously, it makes perfect fucking sense. How could you not?
How do you not?
Is there any beef for the age for anybody in the room?
No.
So he's going to be 34 to start next year, but obviously he just had a career year in sacks.
Yes.
So is this a guy he might be looking? He might be looking for like a multiple, maybe a 2-year spot. Would you be willing to give it to him? Maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
10 mil per. 2 years.
10 mil
20.
per.
2 years 20.
No. Do you think at 34 you can command 10?
I don't think so.
Because it's not like he has
Just came off 11 and a half sacks, 36 in his last 4 years.
I get
39
that, but are there
TFLs.
accolades with it? Are there Pro Bowls? Are there All Pros? You know what I'm saying? Actually, you put it up, it might be up there. Actually, I'll pull it up right now. I don't think there is. So I don't know that he'd be able to command that. As much as, obviously, I think he's worthy of it.
I don't think he'd be commanding a $10 million a year salary, but
6'5", 285 pounds. You guys like to say, "Oh, CJ Gardner-Johnson, he's a great piece of the locker room for those boys." How about this guy? You have guys who play inside and out, like Josh Pascal, like John Kaminsky. You wouldn't want this guy around them. He clearly played very, very fucking well throughout his entire career.
So 2 at 20, you guys are out.
I mean, if that happens, if it's 2 at 20, I guess I don't. I mean,
Give me
I don't
2
really
at
have a beef
15.
with it. Yeah.
Give me 2 at 15.
A highly incentivized 2 at 20. How about that?
Yeah.
I like that.
2 at 15 with a chance for 20.
Yeah.
With like
Claudia
10 plus
chance of
sacks.
meatballs.
Yeah, 10 plus sacks,
gets it,
Pro
yeah.
Bowl, NFC, Super Bowl appearance,
Super Bowl, all right.
and shit like that.
There we go. I can get down with that.
Yeah, because I don't.
Yeah, so that'd be like what, like 7.5 a year?
Yeah. And I'm totally fine.
I'm good with that, man.
That's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You guys want to pay him to be a depth piece? So give me the starting defensive tackle who's cashed in 11.5 sacks. Just saying.
I ain't mad at it.
For Hutch's sake. When we get back, more Detroit Lions. Of course, why not? It's fucking football's king here. On that same show that I'm not allowed to talk about, they talked about a breakout star in 2024. I don't know who your candidates are, or there's tons of things we talk about, honestly. We'll see when we get back. We'll chat this side. But before, tell us about Guardian Alarm.
Guardian Alarm offers you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also give you 24/7 professional monitoring, call you anytime, day or night, and no Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they got technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology. It's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
And let them know Woodward Sports sends you.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Dispo Dispensaries is the #1 cannabis plug in the state. You want to know why? Because there's over 12 locations. And if you can't make it there, deliver to you. Dispo-.com. Get your goods delivered to you. And also, my guys over in Romeo, open at midnight.
Romeo.
Monday to Saturday until midnight. And the best deals in the game. They price match. They do it all. It's Dispo, your local cannabis plug.
Check it out.
Check it out. What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live at WoodSports.com. My boy Eazy, join my guy Spin More Rax.
What up, though?
Young Chris, Unky Nick. Smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Share the stream.
Me.
Oh, your boy Auteur was in BDE chat getting clowned.
What was he saying?
I don't even remember.
That guy's a psychopath.
Yeah.
I didn't block him, but I muted him on Twitter.
He's like, I was a 3-sport collegiate athlete.
Yes, yeah. That's why I said, yeah.
Won a national championship.
Bro, he literally, we were arguing about the Jared Goff stuff back and forth. And he was like, well, you can't know more than me. I have a nationally syndicated show with thousands of listeners. And I clicked on his profile, like 26 followers and like no links to anything.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is crazy. And then he sent me a video of Stephen A. Smith clowning. And by the way, I'm not a Jared Goff hater. I'm just a truth. I tell like what it is, right? He's good, but I just never could put him in the MVP thing. It just wasn't a thing for me. I think other people too. That's why he was in that category, despite being top 5 in statistical categories, right? But he sent me a video of Stephen A. clowning Jared Goff as evidence of Jared Goff. I was so confused. That guy is. Listen,
he's a
careful.
known cousin.
Yes.
I thought he was a known cousin and he got mad.
Be careful out here, guys. That's all I'm saying. All right, Spitty, what do you want to do, man? You want to talk about actually, let's talk about the defense.
Yeah, the chat was roasting him. It was pretty funny.
This one is it's kind of long, and it's a lot of nothing. But I do want to hear your takes on it. Do you remember what Brad Holmes said? You want to play the video, or do you remember what he said about the defense?
No.
Chris.
Yeah.
Do you still have? Do you upload the Brad Holmes video?
Yep.
All right, let's run it. Can you 3-cam it?
Yeah, give me a second to 3-cam
if you don't mind, just because it's pretty long.
Yeah.
I don't maybe make some faces, entertain people while he's talking about it. It's a whole lot of nothing, and I don't know what to take away from it. I feel a lot of those. Yeah, camera's not even on you, stupid.
Yeah. You look stupid.
Well, Carlos, go ahead. I mean,
You mentioned the defense and some of the injuries that you guys dealt with. One of the popular beliefs I think out there is that the reason the defense it's improved this year, but it hasn't reached the elite level that the offense has, is because of the talent level discrepancy.
Yep.
Do you believe that there is a discrepancy in the talent level, and how do you close that gap?
I don't know about a discrepancy. I'll say this: it's not like if players have achieved more offensively, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't. Let me make sure that the guys we select on defense don't achieve this or what the guys, achieved on offense. But I kind of see it a little bit different. You may look at some names that may look a little bit more appealing, names that y'all have clamored for us to acquire in the past. But I do think that our players on defense played well together, and they worked well together, and they were a resilient group. And I think we have a lot of good starters, and we have a lot of guys that have a lot of upside. We have a lot of young players on defense. And look, we play an aggressive style. We play an aggressive style. I think there's no question on our identity, but I don't really see like there's a big discrepancy of talent. It's just, we're just kind of working together. But it's a total team effort, Carlos. It's we don't look at defense different than we look at offense. We don't look at special teams different. We're trying to build a team, and I know everybody wants everything to be paired. You have a Pro Bowl pass rusher that double-digit sacks and 100 pressures. Everybody wants to pair the pass rusher with somebody. You have a D tackle that's was on his way before he got hurt to potentially a Pro Bowl season and sacks. You want to pair him with that guy. You have a promising young safety. You want to pair him with. Everybody wants to, and trust me, that's what we want too. We want the same thing. We want, not only the frontline depth of all 11 stars, but we want all the depth to be really, really quality. And that's what we strive to do. And sometimes when you strive to have really quality depth on defense, you might have to sacrifice some names. Because like I tell you guys all the time, you can get excited about what the depth chart looks like in April and May, in June. But I always think about, what's it going to look like in November. And so there's a balance when you want to add quality depth. And, sometimes you might have to add some guys that might not be as high-dollar players. But we have belief in our coaches, in terms of our development of our players. And a lot of those guys got better. So I'm not really concerned about it.
I like pears, too.
I love pears.
I've been eating pears and shit. Shout out to all the pear.
I fucking love pears.
Pears are good.
Pears are amazing.
Very juicy.
Oh, man. All right. Moving on. So he kind of, essentially, the gist of it, the original question is like, do you feel like there's a lack of defensive talent versus like the offensive talent? Or,
yes. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
No,
that there's more talent on the offensive side of the ball. You look at the All-Pros. You got 2 first-team All-Pros, both on the offensive side of the ball. You look at the Pro Bowlers. You've got, 5, 6 Pro Bowlers? Only one was a defensive player.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's crazy to say. I don't think it's this feast or famine. I think the defense is slowly getting there with adding guys like Brian Branch. You got Aiden Hutchinson, Lee McNeil hopefully coming back healthy. Cam Sutton is a solid CB2. You got Kirby Joseph in the back end. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson if he returns. Ify Melifonwu making plays. Jack Campbell looks like he's going to be a stud. At least I have faith that he's going to be a stud at the interior linebacker position. So I don't think it's crazy. But there's definitely more talent on the offensive side of the ball.
But because I don't fuck what you're saying. What about what Brad was saying though? Because when he was asked that question,
ask me a question.
What?
He asked you a question and he said, "Fuck what this guy's saying."
No.
Talk is cheap, motherfucker.
No, I said that was the question asked. You just started rambling.
Feel like it.
But what Brad said, he didn't really feel there was that big of a discrepancy. And he mentioned, I know everybody wants these pairs. You want to pair a defensive end with another defensive end. You want to pair a safety with another safety. Well, it sounded like he doesn't believe that there's much of discrepancy as we do. Is that any concerns to you when it comes to acquiring talent via free agency in the draft class? Or do you think it's just GM speak, him playing nice and not disrespecting the players he has currently on roster, like you're disrespecting me right now?
You told me to shut up. No, but
He
said, fuck what he's talking about. Don't disrespect me. But no, I think that, I think it's a little GM talk. I think anybody can look up and down this roster and say that the offense has more talent and the higher drafted pieces were mainly invested into the offense. So I don't think it's crazy to say that. You look at that and 3 of your last 4 first-round picks are...
Error.
Yeah, three of your last 5 first-round picks were offensive players. So I don't think it's crazy to say that. I froze for a second. I don't think it's crazy to say that, and I don't think it's false. I think Brad is going to continue to invest in the offense because you want to make what you do good better every year, but you're definitely going to need some defensive playmakers here pretty soon.
And just for the sense of like overlooking things and making topics out of them, because that's what we do for a living, right? Is there any disapproval of AG in that? If he does feel like there's not as much of a discrepancy?
No.
Just GM talk, be nice to the players?
Just GM talk, being nice to the players, not putting anybody down.
Unky Nick?
I mean, I think with the AG stuff, I think my problems with him early in the season is he was not bringing pressure because we couldn't get there with just 4, and we saw what was happening to our defense. But once he started blitzing, you saw guys like Iffy, Brian Branch having a lot of success. I think that's what was happening with Aaron Glenn. But I think when it comes to this defense and what Brad Holmes was saying there, I mean, maybe he hears all the other talk that you have to pair Aiden Hutchinson with another elite pass rusher or another guy on the defensive line. And I don't know why he's denying that. Maybe he's trying to play GM speak, and he might not. You know, when he's trading up,
because he said like we want to do it too.
Okay, all right.
So I think he knows
there's not a discrepancy in
that
talent,
part.
but there's a huge discrepancy.
I think if you
you
sat
have all pros on the offensive side of the ball.
If you sat Brad down in a room,
Shat him down.
If you shat him down in a room,
You have an MVP and Jared Goff on the offensive side of the ball.
You asked him what is the most, what is the room with the least amount of talent. I think he would say the cornerback position.
Like that Woodward Sports Studio.
And then I think the second thing he would say would be the edge rusher position, because outside of Aiden Hutchinson, you don't have anybody else who had more than 3 sacks.
Yeah.
From edge, and you don't have a cornerback 1 on this team, so I don't think that's something he would refute at the Buda.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, for like part of me, I don't. If there's anyone on this regime, within the regime, that's like mystical with the words, is like, I don't even know the words I'm looking for. Just hiding shit. It's him. Dan will tell you straight up.
You calling him sneaky?
Sure.
Whatever.
Whatever. But it's him. Because you gotta address this defense, bro. That is the one piece. No pun intended. It was wicked awesome last week. But that's the one piece that needs to be addressed if you truly want, in my opinion, you want to take these guys from, again, 17-point lead at halftime to being in the Super Bowl and, in my opinion, winning the Super Bowl. Like, if you want to win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, and I mean this with all due respect, you need to have a super stacked team. Just look at the team that Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl with the first time. It was loaded with talent. That's what we need here. And I think we got that in the offensive side of the ball. I think we had a great play call, similar to Sean McVay and Ben Johnson, the offensive side of the ball. Now it's time to address the defense. I personally wanted to go all in. But clearly it sounds like he's not going to take that approach. He's going to continue the approach he has done. And again, who am I to argue? It's worked. But you can't pretend it's worked to like a Super Bowl victory. And that's as a Lions fan, and I'm sure he does too. But that's what I want out of this. So I think we just need to go balls fucking deep, Vince McMahon style, into like addressing the defensive side of the ball, like fucking studs everywhere. And if you're gonna do it the draft, do it the draft. I have the utmost respect with Brad Holmes' drafting process. I've never been one to question it ever. The track record's there, but the free agency part of it, that's what the trade deadline, like those type of acquisitions. That's where you're getting like the surefire stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys can bitch and moan about Chase Young not being elite. I don't think anyone's ever been like bantering that. We just want somebody on that defensive line that's going to command a double team so that Aiden Hutchinson see in one-on-one situations. That's all I want. I want somebody on the defensive line to rush these quarterbacks and then making shitty throws into our playmakers like Afonso Melifonwu. Like Cam Sutton was abused this year, partly because 1, we didn't have a pass rush. 2, he had to play the CB1 when that's just not his natural role. 3, I think a big part that people forgetting in defense of him, dude had did he have turf toe? Did he finish like the last 4 or 3 games with turf toe? I remember being like questionable on the injury report every single week. He was battling through that. I know guys that just sat out with turf toe. He's a Dan Campbell guy playing through it. That's the part of the ball, the side of the ball that we need to address is like get Jared Goff in that offense extra opportunities to score the ball. And that's just what I want. Because I want a fucking Super Bowl. Am I wrong, Nick?
No, I mean, you just said it right there. You want the Super Bowl. If this defense was competent in the second half, we would have gotten to that Super Bowl that we were looking for. And when he's talking about pairs, you have to pair the good defense with the elite offense. And one of the pairs that I want is a blue chip defensive lineman to pair with Aiden Hutchinson, because it makes those cornerbacks look better. It gives those guys in the secondary, specifically the safety room, our playmakers, more opportunity for takeaways. We need a better pass rush. I believe that is the biggest go-to for the offseason. That's our number one priority, is to get Aiden Hutchinson another guy on that D-line.
No, 1,000,000%.
And I believe we're in the Super Bowl right now if we had one.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And all due respect, I saw Phil said it, like, Eazy, you were furious at the trade deadline. Yeah. And the guy that I wanted is playing this Sunday in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want. 2 TFLs against us on third downs, too.
Somebody said, like, somebody called me out during BDE. They're like, oh, it was Flannel. Flannel on the desk called me out. He's like, you know, Spencer, you were one of the guys that said if you don't make a move at the trade deadline.
What the fuck?
Thanks. That was actually pretty helpful. You were one of the guys that said at the trade deadline, Spencer, that if we don't make a move, we can't compete with 49ers or the Eagles or the Seahawks or the Cowboys. And the chat was like, I mean, he wasn't wrong. They literally lost to all of those teams except for the Eagles. And like I said, am I gonna did I overreact at the trade deadline? Yeah, a little bit.
But did we though?
Because I said we weren't going to make the Super Bowl without that.
The guy we wanted in the Super Bowl.
And if we had an edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson that we got at the trade deadline, I feel like we would have made the Super Bowl at least.
Say you trade up. Would you guys have traded? Well, obviously now you can't do the what ifs, but first rounder for Sweat.
No.
Well, didn't he go for a third?
No, he went for a high second round.
He went like a high second round.
That's why I asked. First rounder.
At that time, that second round pick was like pick 33 too.
I know, weird. Ours is obviously now 29.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were giving up a first round pick either. But it's in the
past. Would you give this first round? I mean, it was pick 29.
I mean, it's easy now. Yeah,
for what?
I would
Yeah,
have.
honestly,
in a heartbeat, because you're looking for a
who?
Elite defensive end.
For Sweat?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, probably.
I mean, like at worst case scenario, you're looking at pick 29.
At the time, it was a second rounder from the Bears.
Yes, I would have. Again, the defensive side of the ball is what needs to be addressed. And a lot of people, as much as you could criticize AG, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is offseason need. Cornerback, defensive line, defensive tackle. Like, it's defense, because you know there's inadequate talent there versus what we got in the offensive side of the ball. Look at the 49ers. Say what you want about Brock Purdy. That team's stacked. Guess what they're playing? Super Bowl. And then obviously you got Patrick Holmes on the side of the ball, who's just fucking elite what he does. Shout the Spags for defensive
Young is being talked about being benched for the Super Bowl. He was deaf, wasn't the answer, said Rake.
He is not.
Nobody's talking about
He took a playoff.
He had what? Didn't he sack Goff?
He took one playoff.
No, he hit him. I don't even think he hit him, but he had 2 TFLs. And then, yes, the pursuit was there when he got there. He started jogging because he thought somebody else would make the tackle. That's one play versus so much more film of that
and
being
he
like
opens
a
up
solid game.
Nick Bosa a lot more. Remember when Nick Bosa was struggling heavily this year?
Yeah.
A lot of that changed when they got Chase Young. But, you know, it is what it is, like I said. I'm not going to argue it anymore. I'm not going to debate it, but I think if we would have had an edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, we don't give up 27 points unanswered.
Or just even if Broderick Martin was what they wanted him to be when they drafted him. I don't think they drafted him as I mean, I can't say for sure, obviously. I'm not Brad Holmes. I'm not in the front office. But I have a hard time believing they traded up to draft a project guy with the expectations of, like, competing this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that was a move. I just don't think they were able to mold him as fast as they wanted. And that's why John Scott Jr. is gone, and now you have Terrell Williams.
Yeah. I think that's going to help a lot. I do think that's going to help a lot.
I believe so, too.
But let me tell you guys about Les Stanford. What happens...
Don't forget what you were going to say, Nick.
When you run a great business for over 50 years, you expand and offer more products to more people. That is exactly what Les Stanford did with Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service the customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today and find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Woodwardsports.com has the best merch in the game. Head over and get the latest Detroit sports swag. Amazing apparel. Do that at woodwardsports.com by clicking the shop tab today. They got hoodies, hats, tees, everything you need. Once again, go to Woodward Sports, click the shop tab today.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights, woodwardsports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, my guy Spimo Rex, young Chris, Unky Nick. Nick, what's your Twitter handle?
Tailgate Wins. I remember last time we did that. I didn't know exactly.
At Tailgate Wins. Sure. Chris, what's your Twitter handle?
At Real Chris Platte and at the Rap Cave Podcast. Go show that some love.
No, we're not shouting that out. You changed that awful fucking logo.
I'm working on it. I got my boy who's designing. That's just a temporary one so I can start.
I'm trying to look out. It looks like a purple dot right now. Seriously, know it.
I kind of like it because
you like simple, the color, but you can't see the logo at all.
No, I agree. That's why it's getting redone. God damn, show some fucking respect.
I'm trying to help you.
Jesus Christ,
don't
man.
fucking embarrass yourself, are you? If I'm giving you love, you're embarrassing me. So let me send him down to the fucking butcher shop that's shitty over there because he's my bud? No. What's your at SpinMoreX?
Yes, it is.
At Speakeasy Sports _. Steve Wilds, we've had our ups and downs. I'm not going to go into details, but he says, he mentions Martin will be good, be patient. And I do believe in that. I just don't think he's what they wanted for this year. And I am patient. I don't worry about that part.
That's where my question was going to lead to before we went to break there. I would say it's clear as day that Brad Holmes is 1 for 3. I would say that, Martin could turn into a guy, but he clearly wasn't last year. And as a third rounder, you expect him to contribute at least a little bit. We didn't see that. I think he's 1 for 3 at drafting defensive tackles, and we haven't seen him go out and get a guy in free agency that can truly help this team yet. Do you think that is a problem moving forward, that he hasn't addressed this defensive tackle position besides 1 third rounder in his first draft with Aleem McNeil, knowing that Levi was a bust?
Yeah. Fuck. Because I don't want to be critical of the guy.
We were good against the run.
Helped turn the franchise around. Yeah, that is one of the positions, you'd point to, and you're like, we're waiting for something to produce here. You have Aleem McNeil, as you said, and I know when he was pulling out the receipts, he mentioned that he probably would have made a Pro Bowl or was on trajectory to make a Pro Bowl had he not gotten injured. But that is the one position where it's like, you have gotten bodies there, but none of them has really produced. Now, Levi, you got the injury, which you can't always predict those things. But he also gets credit a lot for the Aaron Donald pick. So it's like, I'm patient with it at the same time, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just... for you to be as close as you were this year, you got to know that needs to be addressed.
Just a little bit more interior pressure, I would like personally. Yes, Spencer, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree. That's why when we did this at the beginning of the offseason, when we talked about would we rather see a defensive tackle signed in free agency and then draft a cornerback or the other way around, I did it that way because I think Brad has better talent at evaluating secondary members in the draft than he does defensive tackles per se. So we'll see what happens, but I believe that he'll get somebody. I do believe that he'll go out there and he'll get somebody at the interior defensive line position. I don't think you can just run it back again with Benito Jones and expect it to be something that can get you past the hump, to expect it to be something that can get you in to the Super Bowl. Like, you need to buff up that position.
And sticking with this D-line, questions for you guys here. Do you think we go into it with James Houston as that starting opposite Hutch, Or do you think he spent some cash in free agency like a guy like Eazy was pointing out from the Titans, or maybe a trade up in the first round? Do you guys see him using high capital either in free agency or the draft to get that opposite Hutchinson defensive end?
Can somebody pull up Charles Harris's contract? I'm curious if he's going to be a free agent this year, but in my opinion, I think he's going to go the route of free agency just because, yeah, you could draft that guy, but as you said, like the guys outside of Hutch and Aleem, he's taken on the defensive line. I mean, I like Pascal actually a lot, but they haven't been surefires, I would say. And so I think with Romeo leaving, what's the situation with Charles? Is he free agent? I don't think he is actually. But with Romeo being a free agent and Houston not being somebody they've obviously been comfortable enough to put out there for all 3 downs, I definitely expect him to make some type of free agent acquisition.
He has a cap hit of $2 million. He's not signed. He doesn't have a base salary.
Gentry asked if I could play defensive tackle. Shout out Mike Gentry, by the way.
Shout out.
I mean, I can. My services are definitely there if the Lions extend an olive branch. Still in my prime. Only 27 years old. I'll take $1 million contract too. Honestly, I'll take a $900,000 contract. Honestly, I'll take like 60 grand. I'm a pretty cheap slut. You don't gotta pay me too much, Brad. And I'm a Dan Campbell guy. I can assure you that. Love the game. Will give nothing but my complete and total effort into every single snap. I did have 4 sacks in 1 game in my high school career, so just saying.
You gotta be ready to play.
They call me the White Khalil Mack for a reason.
All right, we gotta go to break. Tell us about Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in a 30-minute circuit. All memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $10 a month. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. More than 15 Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential. It's chest day, baby.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Swiss is the best place for your home and auto insurance. Make sure you guys go through Mark. That's Mark at SwissINS.com or give him a call at 248-800-4177. Damn, Nick, when I ask for topics, you should send me that fire-ass, those type of questions.
They just come off the rip,
Can't contain the inner workings of this genius.
No, great stuff. What are the answers to your questions?
Mailbag.
So what you were asking.
I think defensive end, we have to address it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I think a D end is kind of a guy that you want to lock up long term through the draft. If we can get an elite guy, I don't know if there's one that really pops out to me in this draft, but if Brad is in love with a guy, obviously he's going to trade up and get his guy, especially with us having 2 third-round picks to make a trade.
Yeah. That's. I hate calling it. I'm not calling anything into question. I just do wish they would acquire like the pieces to take it over the top because we're right there, man. We're right.
I think
right
it's GM
there,
speak.
Man.
I mean, I think the deal that needs to get done. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
The only reason why I don't think it's GM speak though is because like he said like we're gonna play it the same way we've been playing it. You know
he has faith in his drafting.
Yeah, he's very comfortable in his draft. If you were to grade, like, you know how you ever played 2K franchise mode?
Yeah.
And you know, like when you sign the GMs have like grades. Like their trading has a grade.
Yep.
Their you know what I'm saying, like whatever they do.
Draft A+.
Obviously, draft is an A+ for Brad Holmes. What would you grade his free agency acquisitions?
C.
Yeah. Chat, help us out too for missing any names to make that up.
Monty was good.
Yeah, this would be like
was
Monty,
good.
that's a signing though. B. I'm gonna go B.
This could be
another
another
topic. All right, fucking mailbag.
Mailbag. Eduardo O'Neal.
Smash
It's
that
the
line.
2021 draft, and the Lions are picking number 1 overall. Is Sewell still the pick? Also, can we get a spotlight on Bryce Huff? He's the definition of winning your one-on-one.
If the Detroit Lions would have had a redraft in 2021 and they had a number 1 overall pick, just because Brad does like Jared and you had Jared, and I don't think you're getting rid of Jared anytime soon, probably trade back. Is that a weak answer to have?
That is weak.
All right. Trevor Lawrence. How the fuck do you not draft Trevor
Lawrence?
Lawrence?
It's gotta be Trevor.
There's no way you don't draft Trevor Lawrence.
You're taking, if you got the number 1 pick in that draft, you're taking Trevor Lawrence.
But in actuality, I do believe he probably would have tried to trade back.
And a question to you fellas, going off of that one.
Nick,
are
this
you
is mailbag,
taking
not
Sewell?
question time. No, I'm just kidding.
Questions with Nick.
This guy's
Why is the
clearing
sky
out the
blue?
mailbag too. He's ice on the mailbag.
Hey, is Mina Kimes Armenian?
What?
Mailbag.
Who said that?
All right, hold on. Remember your question. Don't forget it. Answer the question in the mailbag.
I did.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, what's your question, Nikki?
So we all know the best defensive end in that draft, outside linebacker, Micah Parsons. Are you taking the linebacker, or are you taking the all-pro left tackle or right tackle?
I wanted Micah Parsons.
Micah
I'm not
Parsons
gonna lie.
too.
I did want Micah Parsons on draft day, and that's before I even knew he's a fucking edge rusher. I just wanted him as a linebacker.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'd still take Penei Sewell. I think it's close. It's close for sure.
Easy.
It's easy, baby.
I'm chatting right now. Would I take him number 1 overall?
Who are you taking at number 2 overall?
Who are you taking
Micah
between
Parsons
the two?
or Penei
Parsons or
Sewell?
Sewell?
You need an offensive line. Jared Goff's going to be your quarterback.
It's true.
As great as Micah Parsons is.
And it's like, would you
He's
rather
great.
have Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson? This is how I describe it. Whenever Maz talks about Micah Parsons, blah, 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 would you rather have Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson, or Micah Parsons and I think Keanu Neal or Evan Neal, I think was the best lineman in that other draft. And I'm taking Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I'm taking Sewell there. Chris, I know that's kind of a tough one, but I'm taking Sewell personally.
I am too. I know Micah
Builds
Parsons is a
cultural.
beast, but come on, bro. The consistency of Penei and the fact that I just feel like he's going to be good for forever, I'm not worried about him.
Culture builder. Back to mailbag. Spenny, sorry about that misdirection.
No, you're good. Where were we at?
It's turning into Harden ball over here.
Yeah, mailbag. Are the Lions supposed to get new unis this year, says Sean Stanley. And yes, they are. They are indeed. Mailbag, mail sack. Eazy, what's your favorite sports show from 8 to 10 p.m. weekdays?
Come on, guys. We're not doing that.
Next one. I honestly didn't even read that until just now. Mailbag, mail sack. If you were to pick up one free agent spot, what is it? Says Nicholas Duncan.
Defensive end.
Number 1 corner.
Defensive end. Oh, yeah. Or corner.
CB1.
Yeah, corner. CB1. Just because, we're going to hype ourselves up. And by the way, we're going to be wrong. Just says the guys who do this professionally for a job, get paid millions of dollars to do, are wrong every single year. Guys take Baker Mayfield number 1 overall. That's... the rumor is this year that these cornerbacks aren't like the level of a Devon Witherspoon or any other top tier guys we've seen the past couple of years. I'm gonna ride with that because I do feel the same. However, one of these guys might pop up and be that, but I don't see that as of now. So I'd rather go free agency, CB1, grab a guy that's a for sure thing, and then still draft somebody too though. 100% still draft somebody.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll go corner as well. What are your opinions on Bryce Huff? I like Bryce Huff.
I like Bryce Huff.
I do like Bryce Huff.
I haven't done a deep dive, but I know he's the Jets. I got Connor Rogers, who would I bother the fuck out of him with draft talk. What? He covers the Jets, and so he's high on Bryce Huff.
Mail sack. Do you think the
about?
guy in the TD booth is cute? That's from the Raft Cave.
No. Hard pass.
Yeah, I agree with Nick.
What a stupid logo that is on that account. It's a purple dot.
It is just a purple dot.
Hey, you know what?
Can you even read
Let
the
me
words
hit that.
that are on
There's
there?
more to it.
Well, that'll do it for us today. Appreciate
Love you
y'all
guys.
tapping into the
Smash the like
Heavyweights.
button.
Smash that like button. For Eazy, for Nick, for Chris, I'm Spencer with
I love you
Heavyweights.
guys.
Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.